Christopher Lloyd. Back to the Future Part 2. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now play.
Who's got that patent? Prell. Yes, Prell. We've
Time. Join one of today's hottest groups in an electrifying concert. New Kids on the Block. Hangin' Tough Live.
Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming, but this is of the utmost importance. How much longer will you sit blindly, allowing the very opportunity you seek to pass just before your opaque lenses? Your obsession to satisfy this need to use and destroy every menial thing you lay your hands on, it seems quite the mystery. While you quaff from the incessant chalice of gluttony, hate, power, and greed, I have watched from the shadows silently, but watch will I nevermore. Substantiating all but that without as much as a suspicion of innocence, we find but an error that should never, nay, will never, see oversight in such a light as this. Yet as enlightenment solely chooses itself at random, so we face the inevitable truth that from power to choose also comes the responsibility to stand for those who have failed to. Rather than solely presenting the issue, I furthermore present the solution. Before you sits the standard bath tissue holder. Your squabbles over the direction of said tissue have shown your incompetence. Clearly, it lays over. Never did I imagine a day would come that necessitates this sort of ultimatum, but here you have it. With 1 year, the timer now begins. Remember the day of the paper. The tissue lays over the top. Remember how ridiculous the thought that any way other the tissue should waver.
Welcome to the Cinema Club. R&R Reviews.
Welcome back to R&R Reviews. You're here with the Vigilant Vegetables, the video viewers, the virtuous one, and the one, that's right, who's visionless. This week, we watched the political conspiracy movie that seems just a little bit too real right now, V for Vendetta, which is packed full of V's. I wonder if that's intentional. Maybe that's how it got its name. You see, verily, our volatility is being vanquished vividly before us. The very vantage that we visualize has all but vanished. With vibrant hearts, we veer to the verge of this veto, while we vigilantly and vehemently plead for this vice to pass. What I'm really trying to say is, will Warner Brothers please release Tenet? It's been like 4 months. Okay, I'm starving here, man. I need some Nolan. I need a Nolan film. I mean, it's way overdue. Please, help. Now that I got that off my chest, let's talk about this classic film. V for Vendetta takes place in a futuristic British tyranny that seems to fulfill every conspiracy theory you've ever thought. We follow V, the Guy Faux mask-wearing Hugo Weaving, who seems to have a very vast vocabulary. See what I did there? A justice-seeking vigilante who seeks to destroy this authoritarian government. Of course, V can't do this alone and needs the help of Evie, a newly awakened friend and sort of love interest, I guess? Evie is played by Natalie Portman, and we think the E in front of the V might mean extra V, elastic V, easy V of Natalie V's with attitude? We've also got plenty of supporting roles from all kinds of British white dudes that you probably didn't know the name of but would recognize as that one guy in most films. We see performances from Rupert Graves, Stephen Ray, and the wonderful John Hurt. And don't forget, insert generic white guy name here, like Carl. Anyway, the film spans over a year's time as V slowly starts to put his plan into motion to rid the UK of this seemingly communist regime. Now there are some points where the story runs a bit dry and lacks a bit of emotion due to its highly political content, but it still delivers on its symbolism. The film is highly symbolic throughout and speaks a deeper message about the power of government. We gave V for Vendetta a worthy.
If it be worthy, still worthy.
Or 4 out of 5 Zorro Z's. This film has some iconic shots and scenes that will live on for years to come. Not to mention, the Guy Faux mask has now become the symbol of conspiracy theorists within our society. It's safe to say that V for Vendetta is held highly among many. It's no surprise that James McTeague and the Wachowskis of the Matrix trilogy fame made another highly regarded controversial movie. If you like Zorro, or movies that think outside the box, and you missed this one, be sure to give it a watch. Not to mention, it's free on Netflix. Well guys, that's all I got for this week's review. Make sure you study up on your V words, and remember that everything your government and the internet tells you is certainly not true. And if you find yourself questioning that Sasquatch and Nessie are not inside jobs, let me ask you this: where is the luggage? As always, my friends, stay classy, stay safe, wash your hands, and remember, it's always a beautiful day in the cinema hood. Pepper needs new shorts!